My friends, let me tell you something powerful today. The words that come out of your mouth are not just sounds, they are seeds. And every seed you plant with your tongue will bring forth a harvest. Some people wonder why they stay broke, stuck, and struggling. It's not because opportunity isn't available. It's because the words they keep speaking are canceling out the very future they're trying to build. You see, your voice is a tool, your words are currency, and your message is wealth. If you learn how to speak life, speak vision, speak value, you won't just inspire people, you'll grow rich in every area of your life. I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about rich in relationships, rich in opportunities, rich in influence. Because here's the truth, wealth flows to the voice that knows how to speak with power, with clarity, and with conviction. The marketplace doesn't pay for silence, it pays for solutions. And your mouth is the channel where those solutions are delivered. Every speech, every presentation, every conversation is a chance to create transformation. And when you create transformation, compensation follows. So don't downplay your voice. Don't muzzle your gift. Stop telling yourself, I'm not a speaker. Everybody is a speaker. You're just either speaking poverty or speaking prosperity. You're either speaking fear or speaking faith. You're either speaking lack or speaking abundance. The question is, which one will you choose? If you learn to speak with purpose, with persuasion, and with passion, you will grow rich. Not because money is chasing you, but because value is flowing from you. And people don't pay for words, they pay for the results those words create. So open your mouth, declare your destiny, share your message, because the moment you speak with power, you begin the process of growing rich. Your words are not empty. They are not casual sounds floating into the air. They are seeds, powerful seeds that will always produce a harvest, whether you want them to or not. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, you are planting the garden of your future with the words that come out of your mouth. If you say, I'll never get ahead, you've planted a seed of poverty. If you declare, opportunities are coming my way, you've planted a seed of prosperity. The words you choose determine the harvest you'll reap. Think about a farmer. A farmer never doubts that what he plants will grow. If he plants corn, he expects corn. If he plants wheat, he expects wheat. He doesn't sow weeds and then hope for a harvest of fruit. But too many people do this with their lives. They sow words of fear, lack, and limitation, and then wonder why their harvest is filled with struggle. They want success, but they keep speaking defeat. They want wealth, but they keep speaking lack. They want opportunity, but they keep speaking doubt. And life is so faithful, it will give back to you exactly what you planted. The truth is, your words create a power. They build or they break. They release faith or they release fear. They call forth abundance or they lock you in scarcity. Words are never neutral. They are always at work, either for you or against you. Every conversation, every declaration, every complaint, every affirmation, you're either reinforcing the reality you want or sabotaging it with your tongue. The tongue may be small, but it controls the direction of your entire life. If you don't like the harvest you're seeing right now, your finances, your relationships, your opportunities, go back and examine the seeds you've been planting with your words. What do you say about yourself when no one is listening? What do you declare about your future when you face challenges? Do you speak life or do you let fear dictate your vocabulary? You cannot speak sickness and expect health. You cannot speak failure and expect victory. You cannot speak lack and expect wealth. It simply does not work that way. Words shape your mindset and your mindset shapes your actions. When you continually tell yourself, I'm not capable, I'm not enough, I'll never make it, you program your mind to accept defeat before you even try. But when you speak words of possibility, a vision of confidence, something begins to shift inside of you. You begin to align your thoughts and actions with the future you're declaring. That's why the most powerful people in history, the greatest leaders, and the most successful entrepreneurs all understood the art of speaking vision before it became reality. They declared it, they spoke it, and then they lived into the reality of their words. And don't misunderstand me, this isn't about positive talk just for the sake of it. It's about understanding the law of sowing and reaping. Every word is a seed. Seeds don't bring a harvest overnight, but given time, they always grow. That's why consistency matters. You can't speak abundance one day and then cancel it out with 3 days of complaining. You can't declare confidence in the morning and then talk yourself down all afternoon. You've got to stay consistent, keep sowing the right seeds, and trust the process. Some people say, well, I'm just being realistic when I speak about my problems. But the truth is, what you call realism is often just reinforcing the very prison you're trying to escape. Realism without vision is just rehearsed poverty. Speaking your circumstances only keeps you bound to them. Speaking your vision is what allows you to rise above them. You don't deny reality, but you declare a greater reality. You acknowledge where you are, but you speak where you're going. If you want to change your life, change your language. If you want to grow your wealth, grow your words. Begin to declare prosperity, opportunity, wisdom, and abundance. Say, I am capable, I am resourceful, I am walking in increase. Speak that even when you don't feel it, because feelings follow words. Speak it even when you don't see it, because vision comes before manifestation. Just like a seed is buried in the ground long before it breaks the surface, your words may be hidden for a season, but they are working under the soil. Guard your mouth the way a wealthy man guards his treasure. Don't waste words on gossip, negativity, or doubt. Invest your words the way you would invest money, intentionally, strategically, and with expectation of a return. When you do that, you'll begin to see your life shift in alignment with the words you've spoken. So ask yourself today, what kind of seeds have I been planting with my words? Because one thing is certain, your words are shaping your wealth, and every word you speak is either planting prosperity or planting poverty. Speak wisely because your harvest depends on it. Would you like me to expand the other two keynotes? Value flows through you. The marketplace does not pay you for time, effort, or good intentions. It pays you for value. And the most powerful way value flows out of you is through your voice. Your voice is not just for talking, it is a vehicle for transformation. When you learn to speak in a way that delivers clarity, confidence, and solutions, your voice becomes a tool that creates impact. And the moment you create impact, compensation follows. Every single problem in the world is waiting for someone with the courage to open their mouth and speak a solution. That means every time you speak with purpose, you position yourself as a solution provider, not just a sound maker. Think about it. When a leader speaks, they create movements. When a coach speaks, they create breakthroughs. When an entrepreneur speaks, they create opportunities. Words have the power to unlock vision in the minds of others, and that is why your voice is so valuable. But here's the challenge. Most people use their voice to describe problems instead of solving them. They use their words to complain, to criticize, talk about what's wrong. The marketplace doesn't pay for complaints, it pays for answers. People aren't going to invest in you because you can point out flaws. They'll invest in you because you can point them toward solutions. That is the difference between being heard and being valued. The voice of value is the voice that moves people. When you speak in a way that shows people a path forward, they are willing to trade their money for your guidance. That is the exchange of the marketplace. People aren't paying for the sound of your words. They are paying for the transformation those words create. If your voice gives them hope, saves them time, helps them avoid mistakes, or opens up new opportunities, they will pay you because value has flowed through your voice. Think about great communicators throughout history. Their wealth, influence, and legacy didn't come because they were simply good talkers. It came because their words solved problems, shifted perspectives, and created change. The world paid attention, the marketplace responded, and value was rewarded. The same is true today. In business, in leadership, in relationships, in every area of life, those who speak solutions rise, and those who only echo problems remain stuck. Now here's something most people miss. Your voice doesn't just deliver solutions to others, it also builds credibility for you. Every time you speak with wisdom and clarity, you are branding yourself as someone of value. You are positioning yourself as someone worth listening to, worth following, and worth paying. People don't remember every detail of what you say, but they remember how your words made them feel and what shift your message created in their life. That memory is what keeps doors opening and opportunities coming. Value is not just about knowledge, it's about communication. There are many people who know a lot, but they don't know how to express it in a way that changes lives. Knowledge unspoken is wasted. Value unexpressed has no impact. The person who knows less but communicates better will always earn the one who knows more but cannot deliver it with clarity. This is why learning how to use your voice effectively is not optional. It is essential if you want to grow rich. Your words can create wealth because they create alignment between problems and solutions. Every business in existence is simply a solution to a problem. Restaurants solve hunger. Teachers solve ignorance. Coaches solve confusion. Doctors solve sickness. The key difference is in how those solutions are communicated. The better you can communicate your solution, the more value people will attach to it, and the more the marketplace will reward you. If you want your voice to carry value, you must focus on delivering clarity, not complexity. People are not impressed by how much jargon you know. They are moved when you make the complicated simple. The voice of value takes something confusing and makes it understandable, takes something overwhelming and makes it achievable. That's when people lean in, listen, and are willing to pay for what you're offering. And let's be clear, value does not flow through a timid voice. It flows through a confident voice. People don't just hear your words, they feel your conviction. If you don't believe in what you're saying, neither will they. Confidence doesn't mean you have all the answers, but it does mean you trust the value of what you carry. When your words are delivered with conviction, people sense that certainty and respond to it. The marketplace has one simple rule that always rewards value, and your voice, when used with purpose, is one of the greatest channels of value you have. So instead of wasting your voice on negativity, complaining, or self-doubt, invest it in delivering solutions. Speak in a way that moves people from confusion to clarity, from fear to faith, from problems to possibilities. When you do that, your voice will not only inspire others, it will attract opportunities, open doors, and build wealth. Because the truth is simple, the marketplace pays for solutions and your words carry the power to deliver them. So open your mouth with purpose. Speak solutions with clarity. Let value flow through your voice and watch how prosperity begins to flow back into your life. Do you want me to now expand the third keynote, us, speak with purpose, passion, and power in the same 700-word format? So the three together form a complete long-form speech or voice, and speak with purpose, passion, and power in the same 700-word dive style, so you end up with a full-length 3-part keynote speech. There's a reason why some voices echo for generations while others fade into silence. The difference is not volume but purpose. The words that change lives are the words that come from a place of conviction, clarity, and passion. Reaches don't chase silence. They chase the sound of a voice that brings transformation. If you want to grow, if you want to impact, if you want to create wealth that lasts, you must learn to speak with purpose, passion, and power. Purpose gives direction to your words. Without purpose, speech is just noise. Purpose is what makes your words intentional, meaningful, and impactful. When you know why you are speaking, every sentence carries weight. You're not talking just to fill space, you're talking to fill lives. Purpose is the compass that guides your communication. It forces you to ask, what problem am I solving? What truth am I delivering? What change am I inspiring? Purposeful speech moves beyond self-expression, becomes service. And service always attracts reward. Passion is the fire that fuels your words. People may forget your exact message, but they will never forget the intensity with which you delivered it. Passion breathes life into purpose. Without passion, even the most logical message falls flat. Passion is contagious. It ignites energy in the listener. When you speak with passion, people don't just hear your words, they feel them. They sense your belief, your urgency, your commitment. And when they feel that, they are compelled to act. Passion is the bridge between information and transformation. Power is the force that gives authority to your voice. Power doesn't mean arrogance. It means confidence. It means speaking with the certainty that what you're saying matters and will make a difference. Power comes from alignment with your values, your vision, and your belief in the value you bring. When your words carry power, people stop scrolling, stop doubting, stop ignoring, and they start listening. They lean in because your voice has presence. It commands attention, not by demanding it, but by deserving it. When purpose, passion, and power converge, your voice becomes unstoppable. You move from being just another speaker to being a voice of transformation. And transformation is where wealth is created. Nobody pays for words that entertain briefly and vanish. They pay for words that shift their perspective, unlock their potential, and propel them into action. Transformation has value, and value always attracts compensation. But here's the truth. Many people never experience this because they choose silence over expression. Fear of judgment keeps them quiet. Fear of failure holds back their message. Fear of not being good enough keeps their voice trapped inside. But silence serves no one. Silence doesn't change lives. Silence doesn't open doors. Silence doesn't create wealth. If your voice stays locked inside, the world misses the solution you were meant to bring, and you miss the prosperity that comes from giving it. The world doesn't reward hidden potential, it rewards expressed value. That's why speaking is not optional if you want to grow rich. You have to speak your vision, your solution, your truth. Even when your knees are shaking, you have to open your mouth and let your message flow because someone is waiting on the other side of your voice. That person might be a future client, a future business partner, or even a future movement. But if you stay silent, they'll never hear it. When you speak with purpose, passion, and power, you position yourself as a leader. People don't follow titles, they follow voices. They follow voices that speak hope in the midst of despair, clarity in the midst of confusion, and vision in the midst of uncertainty. That kind of voice doesn't just inspire, it transforms. And every transformation you create becomes a ripple that multiplies your influence, your impact, and your income. Your voice is not just for communication, it is for creation. Words create worlds. When you speak with purpose, passion, and power, you are creating a new reality not just for others, but also for yourself. You are declaring who you are, where you're going, and what you will accomplish. And as you continue to speak that reality, your actions begin to align with it and doors begin to open to support it. Think of it like this: silence plants nothing, so it reaps nothing. But speech, purposeful, passionate, powerful speech, plants seeds of transformation that produce a harvest of influence, opportunities, and wealth. That is why riches follow the voice that dares to speak, not the one that stays silent. So the challenge is clear. Will you keep your voice locked up, or will you release it to change lives? Will you let fear dictate your silence, or will you let faith fuel your speech? The world is not waiting for another echo. It's waiting for your unique voice, spoken with purpose, passion, and power. Remember this: your words can unlock destinies, spark movements, and create wealth, not just for you, but for everyone who hears them. Don't stay silent. Speak with conviction. Speak with intensity. Speak with confidence. Because when you speak with purpose, passion, and power, riches will follow, not as the goal, but as the natural result of a voice that transforms lives. Now that you have all three expanded steps in 700 words each, would you like me to weave them together into one seamless keynote speech that's about 35 minutes long, so it feels like a complete Myron Golden style message instead of three separate parts?